Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankara Acharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagawad Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishwaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaye Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha Om Sahana Vavato Sahano Bhunakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinem Bhagavatem Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sankapadakramopanisadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastitadadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantanna Vidhussura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. So Namaste once again everyone.
Namaste Guruji.
Sorry. Dukkeshu Dvignamanaha Sukeshu Vigata Prihaha Vitaraga Bhayakrodaha Stitadhi Muniruchyate. So this is the sloka, the meaning of which we are seeing in a detailed manner. So as we can recollect, Bhagavan Krishna is now describing the characteristics or traits of a jnani. Sthita prajna. What are the traits or characteristics of a sthita prajna? That's what he is describing. So we have already seen some of the descriptions earlier. So in this sloka, further traits of a jnani are described. Dukkeshvanu dvigna manaha. A jnani has developed such a strong mind, an emotionally balanced mind, that no unfavorable situation can disturb him. Anudvigna mana. You cannot shake a jnani's composure by heaping abuses or ill-treating him. You will be sadly disappointed if you try to hurt a jnani's ego, because he has already diluted his ego to such an extent that whatever you tell him, he knows that it doesn't apply to him, because he is Satchidananda Atma. He has disassociated himself, his identity, with his body, mind, sense complex. Now, does that mean that a jnani will be carried away by words of praise and accolades that you shower on him? The answer is no. Sukeshu vigata spriha. Even when there are favorable conditions, he is not carried away. He is dispassionate. He is balanced. If you go and, tell him, I've seen that many people, tell Puja Swamiji, oh, your talk was very nice, very great. The examples you gave are fantastic and all that. We are all very lucky. Yes, Swamiji will just smile. That's all. There will be no reaction from him. Thank you. Even thank you also he will not say. He will just smile. Sukeshu vigatasprihaha. So even when there are favorable conditions, he is not carried away. Dispassionate, balanced. Does not lose his composure under any circumstances, whether favorable or unfavorable. Now the question is, how is a jnani able to remain balanced and composed? What is the secret? And here comes the punchline. He is Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. Vita means free from, devoid of. Devoid of what? From these basic emotional problems of Raga. Raga we have seen, right in the first chapter we have seen emotional dependence or attachment, which is the basic problem. From where Raga only, from the desire, this emotional attachment only, all problems of our samsara flow there. If we are able to regulate our Raga, then you are almost there. The jnani's stage. That is our basic problem. We need to understand that our problems stem from all these attachments, these binding desires. All these things give problems in life and cause misery, sorrow, grief, everything. Earlier, we saw the definition of samsara when we talked about in the first chapter. I hope you all remember raga, shoka, moha. That is how we define samsara. Raga means attachment, which leads to shoka and eventually ends up in moha, which means delusion, clouded mind, thinking capacity is lost. Emotionally disturbed mind. So a jnani is free from the bondage of samsara because he knows that whether the situation is pleasant or unpleasant, everything is subject to arrival and departure. This is where we go wrong. When we get attached to people or things or in relationships and all that, somehow we have a feeling that this is going to last forever. We are seeing around us, everything is temporary. Nothing lasts forever. We see our neighbor losing his relatives, his parents, and his dear and dear ones. Somehow we get a feeling that is not going to happen to us. This is the most foolish thing that we all do. Excuse me. And this is when our discriminative power gets clouded, our mind gets carried away, and we fail to perceive the truth. The truth is what? Everything is subject to arrival and departure. That is the Viveka. Every situation in life is subject to change. What is born will die. This we must very firmly understand. Therefore, these two first traits, and they indicate what? A samatvam, sameness of the mind towards all situations. Both this taken together is the third trait of a Jivan Mukta. Stira Prajna or Stita Prajna. He is called a Jivan Mukta, who is liberated while living it. So we are talking about Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. See, in this section, every verse is important. In fact, the second chapter is, as I told you earlier also, it's a complete teaching of Bhagavad Gita in a capsule form. Everything, all 3 to 18 is all only unraveling or I can say expanding what is taught in the second chapter. Very useful for self-introspection. And I was saying that we have already defined samsara as raga, shuka, moha. But here, Krishna presents it differently. He says raga, bhaya, and krodha. Vita, raga, bhaya, krodha. Same samsara definition only, but using different parameters. Another route. Both are samsara only. And if you see, the common starting point is raga. Both the cases, raga is the starting point. Psychological leaning, attachment, dependence. Earlier we saw unfulfilled raga, or when they are attached either person or the object we happen to lose, it leads to shoka. There is another aspect of this raga, of this dependence, which is while we have got what we want, there is a constant fear of losing it. Bhayam. So raga on the one hand leads to shoka, on the other hand, raga leads to bhayam also, fear also. The more I am dependent, the more I feel insecure, because whatever I depend upon in this world, that itself is insecure. Many children feel that their parents are going to live, take care of them eternally. It's only when they grow up, they see the world, they understand ephemeral nature of this entire world. The only secure entity in this entire universe is Bhagavan, God, the Lord. Other than God, every blessed thing in the world is insecure by itself. And the fundamental mistake I commit is, as an insecure person, I am trying to hold on to another insecure person or object or whatever it is. And we somehow have got this fantastic equation in our mind that insecurity plus insecurity is equal to security. This is a very, this is the illusion we are taking. And that is why our dependence is on insecure things. We think by acquiring more and more insecure things, we will become secure. Such a foolish thought. Where insecurity plus insecurity will lead to more insecurity only. But it will become, insecurity into insecurity will be insecurity square. That is why in our life, we always feel this insecurity. We are looking for some crutch, something to make us feel secure. This is the fundamental mistake we make in our very approach to life. And that is why we are not able to solve our problems. Not because we lack effort, but we lack direction. We lack understanding. If I have got a problem, what I should do to solve the problem instead of doing something which will compound the problem. Direction is what is lacking. If we walk in the wrong direction, not only will our effort not reach us to our destination, on the other hand, we will actually be going away from the destination. In Sanskrit, there is a word called prayatnaha. Prayatnaha generally is translated as effort, but that is not an accurate translation. The word yatnaha means effort. Prayatnaha means the pra prefix is added to this word yatnaha. That means proper effort, right effort in the right direction. And what is the right direction? An insecure person, if he wants to hold on to something or someone, he should hold on to something which is secure by itself. And as I said, the fountain of all security is Bhagavan. Therefore, until one discovers security in one's own self, one should hold on to the ever secure Bhagavan, ever secure Lord. But what happens? An unintelligent person neither discovers security in himself or herself, nor tries to hold on to the Lord, but he goes on holding on to more and more insecure things or insecure entities. It is just like a drowning man trying to hold on to a twig, thinking that at least let me hold on to something that I will actually be saved from drowning. And this unintelligent dependence is what is called raga. So this raga, it will only increase the insecurity. And what is the consequence of that? Bhayam, constant fear. We can just easily visualize hundreds of examples. For fear of a thief, we will employ a security guard in our house. So we seek for the insecurity which we feel because of theft, we try to secure it by employing a security guard. But is the security guard a guarantee for security? After having appointed the security guard for security from theft or robbery, we have a new fear whether this security guard himself should not turn out to be a thief. Before appointing him, we never thought that this could be a risk involved in appointing this security guard, unknown security guard. Therefore, what should I do? Instead of feeling secure, I am always worried, even in the case of companions and all that. When we are in company, we are worried about the security of the companion, and the companion is worried about our security. Both of them are worried about the security of maybe our children or whatever it is. Swami Paramatmananda comes up with a very beautiful vyapti. Yatra yatra raga hai, tatra tatra bhayam bhavati. Wherever there is this dependence, this attachment is there, fear will always be there. That is the basic emotion. It's a constant fear running in our mind. I don't know, many of you may probably be knowing this. Olden days, there used to be a system of telegrams that is almost vanished now, I think. At least in cities and all, with this WhatsApp and email and all, that telegram is gone. But in those days, I'm talking about 30, 40, 50 years ago, telegram was the fastest means of communication. Therefore, if there has been any death of a close relative in the family or some bad news, we will be informed through a telegram. That is why whenever any telegram used to come, and that too in the middle of the night, because telegrams will be delivered, because fastest means any time of the day or night it will be delivered. So if a telegram comes in the middle of the night, people would panic and immediately conclude that someone was out. So another vyapti. Yatra yatra telegram, tatra tatra somebody out. They used to. People will be scared to open the telegram. Everybody will be nicely sleeping at 12 o'clock at midnight. Bell will ring or somebody will knock. Telegram, you will get a no. All people in the house will wake up, lights on. They will receive the telegram, but they don't know what is inside. Is it good news, bad news? Nothing they know. It is telegram. Normally, telegram was associated with bad news only. This is the constant fear we keep on living, And that's how our mind works. The first option is always negative, bordering on fear, because that indicates what is there in our deep subconscious. All this fear is all there in our deep subconscious because it has been carried over from birth to birth to birth. Hundreds of crores of births we have been doing the same thing, living in fear. It has got embedded in the subconscious. So automatically it surfaces rather. Therefore, raga leads to bhayam. What is the next one? Krodha, anger. Directly proportional to raga is krodha. Because when I want to hold on to something and I find that there are so many obstacles to that, every obstacle makes me angry. I want to reach a person. I call that person, he is not picking up the phone. These days, mobile phones, you will also who is calling and all that. Immediately, you become angry. The fellow knows I am calling and he is not picking up the phone. Or I want a person to be with me always, whereas that person wants to be away from me. I get angry. Therefore, raga leads to bhayam, bhayam leads to anger. These three are like triplets bound together and they stay together. And since a jnani has got out of raga because of his self-sufficiency, because he's self-contented, he has no emotional dependence. He is vita raga bhaya krodha. Where raga nasti, tatra bhayam nasti. Abhayam pratishtam vindate, says Taittiriya Upanishad. And this is another point that we have to bring in our mind. Whenever we talk of liberation or moksham rather, not liberation, in fact, moksham, the Pauranic moksha, which are described in the Puranas, traveling to Vaikuntha or Kailasa and all that, we think that we have to go to some other loka. Or there are some people who feel that whenever they see, a sannyasi, moksha and all that, they feel that moksha means we have to wear kavi and become sannyasi. Or some people think one has to grow a beard, live on bhiksha, etc. But here, Bhagavan Krishna defines moksham as abhayam. And this is, I just quoted a small portion. The whole mantra in Taittiriya Upanishad is, which is defining moksham. Yada he vaishaye tasminna drishye anatmye anirukte anilayane abhayam pratishtam vindate ataso bhayam gato bhavati yada he vaishaye tasminnudaram kurute atatasya bhayam bhavati tatveva bhayam vidusho manmanasya tadarpyesha sloko bhavati. Directly, what is moksham? Abhayam pratishtam vindate. It says, once you become totally fearless, that is moksha, liberation. So, when we talk of liberation from samsara, what are the aspects we must keep in mind? It is not only desirelessness in the terms of getting rid of binding desires, it is also freeing yourself from all sorts of fear, all sorts of bhaya. And as long as there is ignorance, bhayam cannot be avoided. The only way to fearlessness is self-knowledge. As long as our identification is with this body, mind, sense complex, bhayam cannot be avoided. So therefore, the third trait of a jnani, which is described in this sloka, is freedom from raga, bhayam and krodha. Raga, bhaya, krodha, abhava. Free from all these three aspects of samsara. See, this is all the benefits of Gita study. Bhagavan Krishna gives all these things so beautifully in a nutshell. We don't need to read the Upanishads and all that. Of course, one has the knowledge, then one can connect the words of Gita with, from which idea of Upanishad is being reflected there. And this is the benefit. One should be tempted to study the Gita. Because once you understand what the message is, how you lead your life, what are the important aspects in a day-to-day living that you have to pay attention to, the biggest benefit one will get is freedom from anxiety, anger, fear, etc. How wonderful it will be. Freedom from fear, freedom from emotional dependence. And such a person, stitadihi muniruchyate. Such a person is called munihi, a sage. Because, whether a person is sage or not, it does not depend upon his external attire. Whether he is wearing all these saffron robes like that and all, with a matted hair, with a T Danda, Kamandalu, and all. That is how sages are all depicted in photos and in drawings. That is the picture we have in our mind. When we say Rishi and all that, immediately this is the visualization we will get, immediately get. Sorry. But here Krishna says, external transformations do not guarantee freedom from samsara. What gives us freedom is internal transformation. And the one who has brought about internal transformation is a sage, even though he may be living with his family, even though he may be very much part of the society. He may involve himself in all kinds of activities. He may be coated, booted, suited, everything. Still he will be a Muni. Mananat Munihi. Munihi means the one who has got the right knowledge. Mananat Munihi. And how does he become a Muni? Because he is becomes Stitadhihi. Dhihi, knowledge. He has got the knowledge which is converted into an emotional strength. Stitadhi is another word for Stita Prajna. So not only is he intellectually strong, which means that if anybody questions his basic philosophy, he is able to confidently and intellectually defend his philosophy. Because he has got such a strong knowledge of the scriptures and is totally convinced about it. It is not a mere belief. He is very clear in his mind what the scriptures teaching is and what his real self is. Anybody criticizes, of course, there are many people who just, he will also have to be very careful in terms of what is the intention of the person who is criticizing. Otherwise, a Muni will not waste his time on just like that, all Tom, Dick and Harry saying things. But if there is somebody who has got a very strong belief about the non-validity of Advaita Vedanta, this Muni, he will be able to defend intellectually. And that is exactly what Adi Shankara did with Mandana Mishra. Because his thinking is very clear. He is not at all confused. And not only that, he is not only intellectually sound, but he has converted that knowledge into an emotional strength. And he enjoys peace of mind also. So when you think of a Muni, any one of us can be a Muni if we are able to achieve that. Eventually, everything boils down to how strong you are emotionally. How successfully you are able to neutralize your emotional dependence on people, object, or situation for your happiness, for your peace of mind. That is what is the crux of the whole thing. Bhagavan continues in the next sloka. This is the 57th sloka we are going to enter. Yes, sarvatra na bisneha tat tat prapya shubha shubham na abhinandati na dveshti tasya prajna pratishtita. Continuing, he is continuing the description of the traits of a jnani, of a sthita prajna. The anvaya of the shloka is Yaha anabhisneha sarvatra na abhinandati na dveshti prapya tatta shubha shubham tasya prajna pratishtita. Yaha, he, the one who, abhisneha, is unattached, sarvatra, everywhere. Na abhinandati, neither does he rejoice, na dveshti, nor does he hate, prapya, on facing, tattat shubha shubham, various favorable and unfavorable conditions. Tasya prajna, his knowledge, pratishtita, is firm. So he is the one who is unattached everywhere. The one who does not rejoice, nor does he hate on facing various favorable and unfavorable situations. Such a person's knowledge is firm. Tasya prajna pratishtita. So here Krishna says, yes, Stita Prajna is one who is sarvatra anabhisneha. The one who is free, the one who is not hooked to any person, any situation, or any object. Whereas an Ajnani is one who is sticky all over. Swami Paramahansa says an Ajnani is like a person who has got a abhishekam with gum, you know, that gum, sticky gum. Everything, objects, relationship, desires, etc., everything stick to him. Initially, he feels joy. Oh, so many things are sticking to me. They are all coming to me. They all like me. Then over a period of time, when he becomes tired of them, he is unable to remove them. They are all stuck together. And Bhagavan Krishna uses a very beautiful word. Anabhisneha, abhisneha. The word sneha in Sanskrit has got two meanings. One is attachment. Sneha, attachment. Another is sneha means a sticky or an oily substance. Gum-like substance is also called sneha. See how beautifully he uses the word abhisneha to bring in the meaning in the context of raga, attachment. So sarvatra anabhisneha means his mind is so weak that anywhere he goes, he wants to hold on to something. And this is where, if we observe, we will find how we become obsessive with certain things in our life. Total obsession. Without any reason. In fact, we used to experience this in the Gurukulam also. This is such behavior. A student will be sitting in a particular place for a few days. Somehow, he will start claiming that place to be his own. If somebody else happens to sit there, he will insist that the other person vacates his place. Even a place in a classroom, people start, taking, as if owning that place. So, it seems that unless he sits there, he will not be able to understand what the teacher is teaching. Same thing. There are people get up in the morning, they can't get out of the bed without a cup of coffee. So addicted, so dependent on that cup of coffee. Initially, it starts with an emotional dependence, then it becomes a biological dependence. If I don't have coffee, I will have a headache. So anything and everything stick to us, we get stuck in our life. A jnani is one who moves with all people, who loves everyone. He enjoys the company, but at the same time, he does not get stuck to anyone. And that is why, sannyasis, it is insisted. They are called Paramahamsa Parivrajaka Acharyas. A sannyasi is not supposed to stay in any place for more than 3 days. He has to keep on moving. He freely moves, loving everyone, but not stuck to anyone, any particular place. And this psychological freedom is called anabhisnehatvam. That is the emotional freedom. Like we have got many, gadgets which have got these plugins and, what they call it. Attachments are there. You attach something, some function will be there. Detach that and attach another part, some other function will be there. So this attachment and detachment should be able to do it. If you are able to attach and then not able to remove it, then you will be stuck with that. But sometimes, some things are not just removable. They are riveted to that main thing. So you can't remove it also. So a jnani is one who enjoys this freedom to attach and remove the parts. He can become very friendly, loving, as though appearing to be attached, but he can detach himself the same way. He will be coming, he will be going too. He enjoys the company of everyone, but he does not miss anyone. Of course, if somebody asks Jnani, Swamiji, do you miss me? He may say yes, just not to hurt the other person. Because whenever somebody goes to a Mahatma or to Swamiji and all that, they are going with a certain expectation of some emotional support from them. That a Jnani understands. Because that is the common thing in all relationships. Do you love me? Do you miss me? Everyone, because of this fear, this is exactly the demonstration of attachment. Fear of losing. Bhayam. Raga leading to bhayam. So everybody wants to be reassured always. Do you love me? Do you miss me? Everybody wants to be told on the phone or write a letter, email, I miss you, or a WhatsApp message. If you send out, oh, you're gone away, I am missing you so much, they're very happy. Whether this is true or not, nobody knows. The spouse might have gone for some holiday somewhere. The other partner will say, I am missing you so much, but actually sitting here and we're feeling very happy that the fellow is the trouble is gone. But a jnani does not miss anyone. So therefore, sarvatra anabhisneha. And tat prapya shubha shubham. Another very important expression. Because we have seen that a jnani also faces external favorable and unfavorable situations. Jnani is not given any I think what I can say, any exemption from that. Of course, we have seen this Tattva Bodha, those students who were there, who have learned the Tattva Bodha. We have seen that a Jnani may not acquire fresh Punya Papam after he has got the knowledge, he has become a Jnani. But we must remember that a Jnani was also an Ajnani before he got the knowledge. He was a Samsari before, in this Janma itself, or at least if not in this Janma, in the previous Janmas. And in those Janmas, including in this Janma, before getting this, or let us not talk about this Janma, because in this Janma he has become a Jnani. So his Punya Papam earned in this Janma will be neutralized. But previous Janmas, Prarabdha Karma, Punya Papas are there, and because of the set of Prarabdha Karmas arising out of that Punya Papa only, he has got this birth. So when he was born, he is born with a set of Prarabdha Karmas which the Jnani will have to exhaust. Whether he gets Jnanam or not, his body, mind, sense complex will have to exhaust those karmas, those Punya Papas. I hope you all remember Sanchita Karma, Prarabdha Karma, and Ami Karma, and all which we discussed in Tattva Bodha. Those people who are there in Tattva Bodha class. You know, this karma, this Prarabdha Karma, Swami Paramatmananda ji gives a nice example. It is like switching off a fan. Even after you switch off the fan, because of the intensity of the movement, the fan continues to rotate for some more time, isn't it? So even though a Jnani has acquired knowledge, the Prarabdha Karma will continue till the fall of the body. Therefore, a Jnani also faces favorable and unfavorable situations. And this Bhagavan Krishna calls them Shubha Ashubham Prapya. Shubham means favorable, Ashubham means unfavorable. Shubham means Punya, Ashubham means Papa. Because a Jnani, when he is there in this world, some people will glorify a Jnani. They will say, oh, you are wonderful, you are doing great service. Whereas some other people may criticize. In fact, one of the major criticisms against all these Jnanis, who are sannyasis, of course, is that these people are not protective citizens of the country. They are useless for anything. They don't do any work. They will sit there. Everybody will give them bhiksha. They will eat. They will also make wrong examples to the youngsters. All these are all, criticisms which are laid against a Jnani. All they talk about some Nivritti Dharma and all that, all nonsense. And in fact, there are people who blame Vedanta for all the problems that our country faces. Can you imagine? They say that it is because of all such philosophies that Indians have not developed a competitive spirit. It is because of the competitive spirit that countries like US, Europe have developed and thrived. Therefore, they may criticize all those people who are propagating Vedanta. So, for a Jnani, glorification comes and criticism also comes now. But what is a Jnani's attitude towards both? Na abhinandati, na dveshti. He is not carried away by favorable situations, nor he is over agitated by unfavorable situations. which is the same as samatvam, which we already see in the earlier sloka. So, samatvam, Krishna keeps on repeating samatvam in the Bhagavad Gita. Samatvam yoga uchyate. We will see all those, what is ultimately, what is moksha? Moksha is nothing but gaining samatvam, equanimity towards everything, every situation, every person, every object. Therefore, in one way, the essence of this sloka is almost a repetition of the idea which was given in the previous sloka, which is samatvam. But here we should understand a very important thing. When we say a jnani, a person of wisdom is not disturbed by situations and the people's proper conduct as well as their improper conduct, this is often misunderstood by people. They argue that if we are going to accept all situations without any reaction, then people will take us for granted and they will start exploiting you. Like what they say, they will treat you like a doormat if we keep quiet. So therefore, does it mean that all this samatvam and this Vedanta, everything, they all mean to give the message that I should meekly surrender to all situations and keep the balance of my... Does not it make me a weaker person? Previously, I reacted to the situation and therefore I could stop the misbehavior of that person. And if I'm not going to react, what will happen? They think that this fellow, sarvatra anabhisneha hai, na bhinandati, na dveshti. They will think I am a simpleton. Instead of taking me as a simple person, they will say I am a simpleton. I am a fool. This is a possibility. Now, Vedanta says that when what is meant by samatvam or treating both favorable and unfavorable the same, it does not mean that one should meekly surrender to all unfavorable situations or improper behavior. We have to understand that very carefully. Vedanta does not say that. In fact, in the very Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna repeatedly is asking Arjuna to fight adharma. Vedanta does not mean just blind acceptance of whatever akrama is done by other people or injustice done by others. In fact, there is an interesting story which I can recall. I don't know. Many of you might have heard this story. Excuse me. There was a village surrounded by a forest area in which a serpent lived. Whenever the serpent came out to hunt for its food, the villagers would rush with sticks to kill that serpent. In turn, the serpent would bite the villagers. So the villagers were scared of going near the serpent, but at the same time, they wanted to get rid of it. One day, a Mahatma came to that village, and the villagers complained to him about the serpent. that this serpent is troubling us. Whenever, we go near it, it bites us and all that. So the Mahatma said, he was a Mahatma, Ashta Siddhi he has got probably. He said, I will speak to the serpent. So he spoke to the serpent and extracted a promise that the serpent will not bite the villagers. Of course, he didn't tell this to the villagers. This promise he didn't tell, but he said that you people need not worry, the serpent will not harm you. After that, the Mahatma went away. Now, whenever the serpent came out for hunting its food, the villagers would beat it with sticks. And they were surprised to find that instead of biting them, the serpent would run back to his burrow or wherever it was staying, living. They were very happy. They said, Mahatma has done a magic. But because of this, the serpent was unable to hunt for food. Every time it will come out, people will beat and it will run back. It had no food for so many days. It became very weak because of hunger. But being a serpent, it honored its promise it had given to the Mahatma not to bite the villagers. But as a consequence, it was suffering because of that promise. After some time, the Mahatma came back to the village and inquired about how things were with the snake. The villagers were very happy and said that they seldom see the snake now. After that, the Mahatma went to see what has happened to the snake. But he was shocked to find its condition. It had become very thin, unable to move, and looked like it would die in a few days. The Mahatma inquired, what has happened to you? The snake said, since I gave you my word for not biting the villagers, I have been unable to hunt for food because whenever I came out to hunt, the villagers would rush to beat me and kill me. And I could not bite them or chase them away. So I have not been able to get food since you left. All this because of the promise I gave you not to bite the villagers. At this, the Mahatma said, O serpent, all that I had told you was not to bite the villagers. But I never stopped you from hissing at them, scaring them, and make them flee out of fear of being bitten. The villagers did not know that you had given me a promise. So you could have still continued to scare them, terrorize them without biting them, and could have hunted for your food. And therefore, this is what Vedanta says. We should clearly understand that for any situation, we have three types of responses. One is an impulsive reaction in which there is no time, there is no thinking, there is no planning, no buddhi is involved, no discrimination involved. Everything is done like, knee-jerk reaction, as they say, impulsive. One possibility. The second possibility is that I meekly surrender to the situation. Whatever abuse the other person does, I meekly surrender and I do not take any step to remedy that. It is an unintelligent inaction. I don't do anything unintelligent inaction. Generally, we swing towards these two extremes. One is impulsive reaction, where thought is not involved. Another is unintelligent inaction born out of weakness. Vedanta says both are equally bad. Impulsive reaction is bad because it affects me, myself, because any reaction disturbs the mind. And if I continue that mental disturbance for a long time, it will create stress in me and I am going to suffer from even many physical diseases. Therefore, impulsive reaction may appear to get the things done, because other people will get scared and frightened, and you may get your things done, but side effects are more terrible. There may be immediate positive benefit, but there are long-term negative benefits. It's just like antibiotics, when we take them indiscriminatingly at the very first sign of a disease, initially it's a powerful drug. It may give immediate relief, but it is going to damage my vital organs in the long run. So any impulsive reaction is like a powerful drug which has got long-term adverse effect, resulting in mental, physical, and other problems. So impulsive reaction, many people think is a strength, but it is not a strength. It is real weakness alone. It reveals a lack of self-control. And the meek surrender to the situation or inaction is also improper, because then we have to suffer injustice. In the Shastra, it's nowhere said that we should meekly suffer or surrender. Therefore, both are improper. Then what does the Shastra say? We will see in the next class. Okay. It's already time. I'll close here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all very much.
Hari Om. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you very much.
Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Yes, Anjali ji has raised her hand. Yes, Anjali ji.
Yeah. Namaskara, Guruji.
Namaskara.
Guruji, in the beginning of starting this Sthita Prajna Lakshana, you told us that these shlokas contain, verses contain characteristics of Sthita Prajna and also the sadhana, what is to be done. So this sadhana part you are covering parallelly, or there is any specific?
It will come. It will come.
It will come. Okay.
Sadhana will come. Sadhana will come not only here, but also in future chapters.
Future chapters.
Yeah. Complete Bhagavad Gita, then you will get the full thing.
Okay. Thank you.
It is just like we serve the food, in our feast and all. Everything is not served. Slowly they will serve. Turn by turn, it will come. Everything will come. All sadhanas, everything. Krishna will talk about them very elaborately.
Yeah.
Patience is the virtue here.
Sorry?
I said patience is the virtue.
Patience is a virtue. Yeah. We have only completed the second chapter, 57 slokas. We got 700 slokas to go.
No,
Because
I don't mean to say that. You said in the Sthita Prajna verses itself.
Yeah, no,
That part. So whether
We'll
we
have
should
got
take
lot
what
of
you
that,
are explaining in detail.
See,
What you
the
are
sadhana, correct. The sadhanas, we already touched upon the Shravanam, Maranam, Nitidhyasanam in one of the earlier classes, right? Now, whenever the next sloka, I think, or the next, I don't exactly, probably next sloka itself, Nitidhyasanam, he will explain more. Bhagavan, Krishna, he will explain about Nitidhyasanam, what exactly is this Nitidhyasanam. He won't use the word Nitidhyasanam, but we have to understand what he is saying, then that is a sadhana that we have to practice.
Okay.
So all that it will come, it's all coming mixture, like that. And that's why we have got gurus who are able to decode all this, what Krishna says and tell us. And we learn from that.
Okay, Guruji. Thank you.
Welcome. No problem. Yeah. Any other question? Nothing seems to be there today.
Guruji,
Yeah. Yes, Premaji.
it seems like a hopeless situation at the moment without having the tools. And Bhaya seems to be part of our nature. And it's
Yes.
also impelled by Prakriti, impelled by our nature.
Yeah.
We are helpless. And what percentage of people are able to reach moksha? So what is my chance?
Everybody will reach moksha.
But when?
That depends. That depends upon what sadhana we do, what punya we are carrying with us, how we are able to invoke the grace of Lord and Guru and all. See, we must never ever become impatient in all these spiritual journeys, because it's a very difficult thing. The Katha Upanishad, it describes a spiritual journey as Shurasya Dhara Nihita Duratyaya. It is like, what is Shurasya Dhara? The sword is there, the edge of the sword. It is like walking on the edge of the sword. You have to walk on the edge of the sword, at the same time not get your legs hurt. Right? So this is the Upanishad themselves say that this is what it is. But you must feel that you cannot say it is a hopeless situation, because you ask yourself, how many earlier births you were able to actually get an exposure to this teaching? If you had got exposure to this teaching in an earlier birth, you would not be here.
Correct.
So in this birth, you got the greatest opportunity, which crores and billions of people don't get it. You got that. So it is not a hopeless situation. And we know the secret. What is the secret of actually enjoying all that Chitta Prajna that is being talked about? Self-knowledge. That we know. Correct. Now, how to get that self-knowledge is the question. And Bhagavan Krishna is telling, this is what you have to do. This is what Jnanis do. Again, hopeless situation means there are no survivors. That is hopeless situation. But that's not the case. Right in front of our eyes, we have got so many Mahatmas who are living in the same society as we are living. They are also eating the same food we eat. They also do the same sleeping we do. Everything they do. But they have been able to reach that stage. Some of them have reached the stage even when they were very young, rather, like Ramana Maharshi and all. Hardly 12 years, 13 years, he has reached that stage. All that we have to see is, we have to see these success stories of Mahatmas around us, get inspiration from them. If that is what we want, our mind is already attuned to that, and that is why we are coming to this Bhagavad Gita class, isn't it? We are looking forward to this class. I am looking forward to this class because by teaching, I feel I am doing a sadhana of learning more. Teaching is becoming both Shravanam and Mananam for me. And also Nididhyasanam. Because whatever I have learned, I am recalling it again and again and again when I am teaching it to people. That is a Nididhyasanam. So we must keep the hopes, and we must not have a greedy ambition that in this life itself I want to become mukta. It is not wrong to have that, but we must be realistic. First of all, let me tell you, and I will be little blunt here. That is, there are people who are born who don't want to get married at all. Right? There are people who don't want to get married for many reasons. But those people who don't want to get into a married life for pursuing Vedanta, for pursuing this knowledge, they have already reached the doorsteps of moksha. And if we continue in this way, studying, understanding, doing some sadhanas and all, we will get a birth where we will also be motivated not to get into all this relationship business and all that. It will happen. I have seen that happening to so many people. Do you mean to say Swami Paramatmananda's parents would not have had dreams for Swami Paramatmananda when he was born? My son should become this, my son should become, a big doctor or an engineer or somebody. Every parent has got this because they don't know what is the prarabdha karma of that son. And when he has said that I am going to Gurukulam when he was just, studying or young age, teenager, I am going to Gurukulam, I am going to become a sannyasi. What kind of a shock they would have got. So a first thing that one has to overcome in this is you will have to disappoint your parents. That is the first detachment you will have to practice. And in fact, Swami Sanatmananda, his family, he and his sister both have become sannyasis. The parents have got no children, to the best of my knowledge. They are all brother and sister, both are sannyasis. So just imagine both children becoming sannyasis. So this is how, automatically all these things will happen as even our mind gets more and more emotionally strong. So we need not lose hope or look at it as because we will lose hope if we look at it as if within the next 3 years I should become I should get moksha. If we have such ambitions and all that, then it could be disappointing rather. But having said that, we must patiently wait. Let me continue to do what I am doing, what I should be doing, what the Shastras tell me to do. Let it come, let moksha come, because moksha, the anxiety of getting moksha itself is an indication of samsara. One should not become anxious at all. When it comes, let it come. Am I enjoying this journey? Am I day-to-day basis? Do I have a feeling that I am getting more and more emotionally strong and less dependent on other people? Who is this? Somebody is calling me. 1 second. Hello. The class I'll call you later. So that is what we must, our takeaway should be. There is too much of noise. Sorry. I muted everybody. So you can, anybody wants to say something, then unmute. So that is what I would say. Let us not become anxious about moksha and all. Let us just follow a certain discipline every day or periodically. Let us see, let us introspect what improvement I can do in this. That is what we have to focus on and continue learning. Krishna will give lot of more tips and guidance as we go further. We'll learn all those things, including he will talk about meditation, yoga, all those things, because physically also we need to be fit to pursue this spiritual knowledge. All this will happen. Let's not get anxious about it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Hari Om. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other question? If not there, then we'll close the session. Continue next week. Okay. Right then. Hari Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Dhanyawada. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you.